Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to Nerd Nation's review of the whole of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Joining me, I of course am the Chunkalorian. I have Zam is the way. I've got Gary joining us. Welcome, Gary, and of course, cousin Cheeto. How you guys doing?
Sorted.
Yay.
Great, I don't care. Okay, so of course, The Mandalorian just finished, and what a finale it was. Of course, spoilers, muck spoilers, and nothing but spoilers. You have been warned. So if you complain in the comments, I'm just going to pimp slap you. Now, before we get into our season long review, me and Zam is the way, we actually reviewed the very final episode not that long ago. It's on the Nerd Nation channel. Go check it out. And we gave our thoughts. But before, so we've given our thoughts, and I just want to get Gary and Cousin Cheeto's thoughts on the final episode of season 2 before we look at the whole season overall. So I'll go to you, Gary, our special guest today. What did you think of the final episode?
It was. It was. I'm not going to say it was a perfect end, but it was probably the best end we could have. That we finally have closure on the whole Mandalorian first 2 season arc on it. I thought it was really good. I like the fact that we've been building up Moff Gideon and we've been building up this dark robot army that he had. As I said, I thought it was real good. The only thing I didn't like was, and I didn't like this in Solo either, was the retroactive youth CGI Luke. Because he just looks weird. I mean, you couldn't have got like Mark Hamill's son or something like that, or somebody who looks a little bit like him to do it. I mean, it just looks a bit off. But apart from that, it was a really good end. And the thing is, the only thing I would also say, and maybe I'll send this for the end of the of our review, but the one thing I would say is, I wish this was the first time we'd seen him take his helmet off and like, and then when he does it for Grogu, you know, it's more emotion then, and like it's like we finally see, you know, that he's giving up parts of what it is to be a Mandalorian.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay, Tito.
I mean, not Sweezy says hi first
Hey,
off. So hi, not Sweezy.
Hey, not Sweezy.
Just so you know, Sweezy, we're recapping the entire second season of Mandalorian right now. I am giving my opinions right now on the last episode, and then we're going to go into the whole kit and caboodle. All right, so I'm going to make mine brief. Luke coming back, whatever. Honestly, I know you. I watched your guys' review earlier, and I know you guys were Jedi gasming all over the place. I didn't care.
3 times.
Definitely.
I mean, I was happy though that the way it ended up is that Grogu went with Luke. I'm glad. So we're either getting closure there or something, something to happen next season. I don't know, because I feel like Grogu's not going to be gone. Let's be real. I hope he is, but I don't think he is.
Gary, are you able to mute your mic?
Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Keep going.
But yeah, I mean, so Luke coming back for me, and as you guys know, I'm not big on Jedi stuff. Like, I'm not, I'm sorry, I'm just not. So was it really cool him going through all the dark troopers and everything? Yeah, that was cool. That was absolutely cool. I did like your guys' comparison to Luke and Vader in Rogue One, because I made that exact same comparison, and like watching him just go run through them just like that. I mean, that's exactly what I thought too, and I'm like, yeah. Him taking the helmet off, Boss Man has a great point where it's like, yeah, like really, like this that actually would have been a much more impactful moment if that was the moment where he took it off. And really the Boba Fett thing, I like where they left him. I like where they're going with Boba Fett. As I've always said, I know I hate a lot on Boba Fett, but that's only because of the fans and their love for him when he really did nothing to earn it. I feel like the latter half of this season, Boba Fett's earned some love. So I just want to get that out there that all these years of them loving Boba Fett, whatever, like they okay, whatever. He never earned it. I feel like in the latter half of the season, he's earned it. Like he's actually earned, a little bit of the love that he's getting at this point. So I really like where they left him. I love how he went to Jabba's palace and shot I can't remember. I know you guys mentioned him earlier, but I can't remember his name. Who was sitting on Jabba's
Big Fortuna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Fortuna.
Yeah, I love the fact he just walks in there, takes them out, and then whoever's watching the stream, send links to your friend. Oh, okay. So it's just some shout outs.
Thank you.
Showing the love.
Yeah, show the love, baby.
It's from my football stream. Thank you very much, Sweezy. If you could share this out to your mates as well, that'd be much appreciated.
But yeah, and I really actually kind of like where they left Boba Fett. I was watching your stream earlier. Are you sure? Is it a new Boba Fett show, or is it where they're heading with season 3?
It's a new Boba Fett show, apparently.
Okay, I thought they said that season 3. I thought they said that season 3 of Mandalorian was going to come out in December, but I might be wrong on that.
No, the Book of Boba Fett is coming out in December. So,
so it is
as soon as Mandalorian ends, then I think this comes out straight after it.
I was kind of hoping it would be the direction of season 3. I don't know how they were going to do it, but I kind of like where they left things with that character. I also do agree with you guys, as I know I said this wouldn't take very long, and here I am like taking fucking forever. I do like how they left the Mandalorian and Bo-Katan, how he has the Darksaber. I do, and I don't like the fact how they left it that it's very like open right now, because I'm like, I kind of wanted to see what happens, but I know that they're probably going to take care of that at least in the beginning of next season. But I'm like, I wanted to see whether Bo-Katan because I mean, she said he can't yield. I think that's kind of meh, but I love how he's like, here, I yield for God's sake, take it. And it's just like, so. That's it. I think there was other things, but I mean, for the sake of this review, maybe I'll discuss them after we get through the whole season as a whole. But people came here to see the whole kit and caboodle, and damn it, we're going to give it to them.
I just want to quickly add regarding young Luke Skywalker, there was an actor who played him, and who looked very similar to Mark Hamill in his younger years, and then they obviously did a deep fake over his face to give us the full Mark Hamill experience.
Yeah, wait, that wasn't really Mark Hamill.
No, but he's credited because they're using his face. But it was another actor, an unknown actor who looked a lot like Mark Hamill when he was younger.
I know everyone was like, "Oh, Sebastian Stan." I'm like, yeah, I think they'd rather CGI a no name and pay them like that little bit of money than pay Sebastian Stan to come on there for a cameo like that.
It's the same as they did with It's the same as they did with Leia and Tarkin in Thingy. They just got somebody who looked like him and looked like them, and then they CGI'd their face to make it look like them proper.
Yeah, and I feel like the technology that they used looks a bit better. I mean, I know it does. I think it will always look funky because we know that's not them. I mean, I feel like the technology has improved a bit since even Rogue One. I didn't have that much of a problem.
Listen, there are people that have done amazing deep fakes on their own. With these, there is one that even Collider did with Tupac that was phenomenal. This did look a bit ropey. They could have definitely done better, but honestly, given the heightened emotions of the scene, it was just like, what? Just back in Rogue One, you get a pass.
I'll give him a pass.
In Rogue One, I fucking marked out when they showed Tarkin. Leia was a cute moment, but when they did Tarkin, I was like, holy fuck, this is amazing. Yeah, the mouth looks a bit ropey, but I'll give it a pass. Okay, so let's go with overall thoughts on season 2, and we'll pick things apart. I'm not going to go episode by episode because there's just no point. We could just pick things apart here and there, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then go from there. Because there's 4 of us, that's going to pad out a lot of time anyway. So I'm going to start with Zam is the Way. Let me give you thoughts on what you liked about the season as a whole.
First of all, my favorite episode was episode 1. That was fantastic. A big, fat, juicy episode. You know, world building, character development, new characters coming in, a decent villain in the way with the sand dragon. It was just a great episode, and it felt just right. It didn't felt rushed, felt padded just perfectly. And they never really replicated that with any of the other episodes, which all felt quite rushed. Even this episode, which was only 40 minutes. So I thoroughly enjoyed episode 1, and I wish the rest of the episodes followed suit. That was a great fucking episode. I mean, I think we kind of forget how good it was with all the other fan servicey episodes we've been getting. But in my opinion, that was the best episode of this season. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I want more of that. 50 fucking minutes long episodes. That's what I want in the future.
All right. Well, Gary seems busy at the moment, so I'll go to you, Cheeto.
We're talking about episode 1, or are we just
No,
talking
no.
about...
What was your favorite episode?
Oh, shit. I'd have to say episode 1 or episode 4. The last episode was pretty fun, or episode 7 was pretty fun. I don't know. I didn't think about this. I'm sorry. Shit.
That's like one of the key moments to ask in this overall stream is, what did you like? What do you think? We're just going to sit and talk about every little part of every little episode.
Yeah, I thought, but I guess.
Good Lord, no. We'll be here all night.
Well, I got my pillow. Okay, so I mean, I liked episode 7 a lot because it gave kind of like a different side of the universe at large, like the remnants of where, it gave a small hint and look into the remnants of the Empire and what they're doing and stuff like that. And I can't really decide between 7 and 4 because 4 was just a lot of fun. It was it was just a fun event. Was 4 was the one with
Apollo Creed, yeah.
So I mean, that one was a lot of fun. I mean, that one was more just like there were a lot of revelations in that episode that I really enjoyed because I'm like,
so Gary, so Cheeto likes episodes 4 and 7. All right, Gary, on to you. Jesus Christ! All right.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode?
I'd say it was episode 6. No, episode 7.
The Bill Burr.
We got to see the one where Bill Burr, and because we got to see a different side of Bill Burr, that he isn't just this like Boston hard ass in space, that he does have feelings, and like when the guy who was the commander of the ship that killed his family, is like the way you're looking at it, like, oh shit. It's like one of those like movies where like you see stuff, you're like, oh dear, where's this going? It was like that bit in Goodfellas. It was
Inglourious Basterds.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. Because it's not like that because the fact is that actor, I recognised him and I didn't realise where I recognised him from. And then somebody said, I was like, oh yeah, because he's the guy who plays Joe Chill in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's where. I was like, oh yeah, that's where I recognise him from. But like, it's so tense because like the Mandalorian's looking at both of them, like he's like, what the hell is this? And the thing is, because he's got the mask off, you can actually see his reactions to what's going on. And he's like proper like when Bill Burr's like, it was like it's basically poking him, and then he comes back with all the stuff. It's just great. I mean, the other thing I didn't like about it was the weird space pirates, and like the fact that they at the very end they do what they should have done with the grenades. But apart from that, I thought it was really, really good because we got more character development of Bill Burr's character. We got more character development on Mandalorian. The fact that he will do anything to get Grogu back and stuff like that, and that's what kind of makes the last one so sad, I think. But that's my opinion.
Oh,
Boss
fine.
man, I just want to say that I'm really happy that you liked episode 7 because I liked episode 7 as well. While these two fuckers didn't like episode 7, so I'm glad we're on this. So I'm glad we both liked it, mate.
I think Cheeto liked it.
No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
that
No,
was
you
4 and 7.
He said 4 and 7 were his favorites. You dumb fuck. Listen,
he was complaining about it last week. I remember he was complaining about it last week. So when he's going about it being his favorite all of a sudden, it's just what the fuck. I remember I was in the minority. I remember I was in the minority last week regarding the episode. I liked it, but for some reason, you guys felt it was a bit side questing. It should have focused more on.
Oh no! My only issue with it was I feel like it should have been more in the middle of the season. That's it.
I agree with you there. I do agree with you there.
That was really my only issue with it. I didn't hate or even dislike any part of the. Anyway, could keep going.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so for me, I've got to say, like, I loved episode 1 the most as well. I think it felt good that it was longer. It took its time. We got to see a beautiful side of the Sand people, and yes, we are mean. We're meant to be mean. We're tough and brute. But just visual, just the cinematics, the cinematography of episode 1, as well as how beautiful the action was shot, was second to none. It was second to none throughout the whole season. Just absolutely loved it.
There was epicness to that episode. There was a real epic vibe. Yeah, it felt big. It felt grand. You know, all the others are so self-contained. Even when they go to other planets, they feel kind of shrunk. I mean, like we were going all over Tatooine on the speeder bikes and shit. It was such a big fucking episode. I loved it.
Yeah, it was huge. And then after that, it would be episode 4. Just episode 4 did so much and did so well directed as well. Those were my 2 favorites for sure. Now I'm going to go on to least favorite episodes, and I'll start this one because why not? Episode 2 for sure. Absolute garbage. Hated it. Didn't care for it. Just, we're going to fight against spiders. Fuck's sake. Bunch of shit. Beautifully shot. Visually stunning, but I absolutely hated the episode. It felt like a waste to me. That's it really. Cheeto, what was your least favorite episode?
Episode probably episode 6. And it's my least favorite. I'm not saying it was terrible, but it was just like, okay, they took Grogu to the Jedi Temple and or the Jedi Hill or whatever it's called, and he did the thing. And I mean, it was a short episode, and Boba Fett, whatever. I mean, he was cool, but it just, a lot of stuff was out of place to me in that episode, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And it's not just because Boba Fett was in the episode. Actually, Boba Fett was that fight scene was probably one of the highlights of that episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, it's not just that. It's the fact it felt really out of place, and it felt more fillery than even filler episodes. So that's why, I mean, and I know everyone marks out for Boba Fett showing up, but that wasn't enough for me. That wasn't enough for it to elevate that episode for me.
Well, it's a bit like the Ahsoka Tano episode, It was, great. Ahsoka Tano's in it, but the episode as a whole was just shit.
Yeah, I mean, that would probably be my second least favorite. Although I did agree with you when we did our review that episode, there was actually a moment where they stopped and they actually talked for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
I did enjoy those moments more than I enjoyed the fight scenes in episode 6. So, but I agree with you on both accounts.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, how you doing? That's another friend of mine.
Nice. Welcome.
Yeah, I used to work with this guy back in the day, and he's crazy like myself.
Nice. Does he watch Mandalorian?
I hope he does, man. He's a similar age to me, so I hope he watches this shit.
Nice. All right, Gary, what was your least favorite episode?
I've got to say, I agree with what Bob was just saying. I think number 6, because that could have easily been put on the end of the Jedi episode, and they could have met like Boba Fett down the road, it could have had the same impact. I mean, it just felt like it was just a bit of a bolt on to the last episode, which was a fantastic episode. I don't know. I just felt it was just a little bit. Nothing really happened until like the last 10 minutes, where it was like the dark droids came and then took Grogu from the stone and stuff like that. It was just like, well, you couldn't have had this like at the end of the last episode. It just felt like they just wanted to introduce Boba Fett, which they could have done easily, maybe like with the one with Bo-Katan, or I don't know, somewhere else in there. I mean, because like you see him when he's working across Tatooine. Why not have him like go back to Tatooine for something? Maybe the Martian Pro brings him back for something, or like he says, "Oh, I need help," and then he meets Boba Fett there, and he says, "Oh, you've got my armor." Boom. Then he doesn't need. Then maybe that's how he loses Grogu.
Yeah. Fair enough.
About that episode, also, I thought of something after. Just like, why didn't you lead with the Dark Troopers instead of like, sending down transports of troopers and transports of troopers? I mean, I get that maybe they were a distraction, but it's like you could have just led with the Dark Troopers going and getting.
We said that before. I mentioned that. Why the fuck they didn't lead? But
no, I mean, that's a surprise. Yeah. We are a smart bunch.
That's right. What were we talking about? Oh,
what we disliked.
No, we know. I know, Zan. Jesus Christ, pay attention.
Okay. I'll try to remind you less.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Okay, so that just quickly, I wanted to go over our favorite episodes and least favorite episodes. So, as a whole, I want to know what you guys thought of the season as a whole.
I haven't had a chance to say my least favorite episode.
Did I not ask you? Sorry, Zan.
No.
Go ahead, dude.
Okay,
nobody cares.
You didn't like episode 2 because it was filler and it was bollocks, but I didn't mind it for what it was. It was just, am I getting when I'm watching Mandalorian? Sometimes it's not necessarily about is the story progressing. Am I getting entertained? And I did. And regarding the story progressing, we did get to see not only Trapper Wolf but that other rebel pilot as well, who then becomes more significant, who will also be part of the Power Rangers.
Don't defend it. Just tell me what your least favorite episode.
No. I'm getting to that. I am getting to that. It's not really about least favorite episode. It's just moments in episodes that disappoint me. And episode 5, the use of Michael Biehn was fucking awful. Yeah, I think the fight scene with the whatever her name is at the end was fucking awful. And I don't know. I don't really look at. I've never thought David Filoni was a good live action director, and there was elements in that episode where I felt maybe his directing wasn't that great. It was a bit. I think what it is with episode 5 is that we were kind of pinning our hopes that this was going to be one of those stellar episodes of the season, and it didn't end up really feeling like that. It felt kind of flat, and so maybe episode 5, the Ashoka Tano episode, was I was most disappointed of.
The least favorite. That's all. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll go with episode 5.
All right, no problem. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so we've talked about what our favorite episodes, our least favorite episodes. I want to get what people's overall feelings were about season 2. So I'll go. Well, I'll finish with Zam, so I'll go straight back to Zam. What were your overall thoughts on season 2?
I felt it could have done with a lot more quieter moments. Everything felt like it was accelerated to fucking 50. Thank you, Jag. Don't forget to like as well, mate. It felt like it was accelerated to like 100 miles per hour. And which goes back to harkens back to episode 1, where there were moments of tension and the pace quickened, and there was times where it was just experiencing the world and understanding what's going on. And I loved all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We were dying for some like back and forth between between the two different sects of Mandalorians in episode 3. We never got that. And ironically, by the way, it's funny how at the end of this episode, Din is the person who doesn't really give a fuck about all the codes and creeds and shit, and he's telling fucking Bo-Katan just take the fucking Darksaber back, and she's the one who wants to keep following these stupid old fucking rituals. So it's kind of funny how it's all turned on its head like that. But yeah, regarding this, I wish there was more longer episodes. But I wish, yeah, so we get more padding. I wanted more padding. I wanted more lore building. I didn't want everything to be rushed. I didn't want, and we spoke earlier on about how there was so often that these guys would have their back against the wall and something would save them in the last second. Too much of that, and that became kind of a symbol of this series to a degree. Can you repeat your question to me? I feel like I've gone on a tangent.
That's all right. No, I think it's pretty fun. I was just saying, what were your overall thoughts on season 2? And
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And you're doing fine. Yeah.
Fair enough. I might have some more things to say, but I'll let somebody else speak.
All right, Gary. Oh,
Gary, you feel like you're frozen.
I thought that this season was. Sorry. Can you hear me?
You're crackling a bit, mate.
Can you hear me?
I think you've got a bit of a delay, but we can hear you.
Okay.
No, he's good.
I prefer this season to season 1.
You prefer this season to season 1?
Yeah.
Gary, you got headphones?
Because there's I do. I need to go and get them in a minute.
Yeah, but we'll go to Cousin Cheeto and then we'll come back to you.
We'll come back to you because
get your headphones, mate.
And
yeah,
we'll come back to you. It's no problem. Cheeto.
This season for me, I don't think it was necessarily bad, but it was definitely fan service this season.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much fan service going on in this season. And as I said, some of it good. I mean, because there were parts that I marked out. Like, I mean, when the mention of Grand Admiral Thrawn, Bo-Katan, showing up was a good moment. I'm not big on to Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars and all that, but it was definitely, I was excited to see what, the two different sects of Mandalorians, like how that would go. And Zam's right. It was very underwhelming, but I was still like that. I really felt like that was good. But yeah, it's like anytime they can cram some fan servicey character in. I mean, I'm surprised Jar Jar Binks didn't show up and get killed. Just to make the fans happy, and But yeah, I mean, no. If I could boil it down to one statement, it would definitely be fan. And I prefer season 1 over season 2.
I agree. I'm with you on that.
I'm not saying that this season's bad, but definitely season 1 I feel was better. You guys know how I feel about the Jedis. That's the back half of the season was all about Jedi shit, and I'm just like, I don't care. I want more world building outside of Jedis and the Skywalker saga. So
can I add to you as well? Yeah, I want to add to what you're saying, because what I loved about season 1, it felt like it was on its own legs. And this season, fucking everybody and anybody from Star Wars canon has come back, and it's ridiculous how many people fucking come back. Yeah, it's amazing how many fucking familiar names have come back this season, and that's what I liked about season 1. It didn't need that shit; it was on its own. And season 2 overdid it. It overdid it, man. Too much.
Yeah, I agree. So that's it. I mean, season 2 is fan service season. So hopefully they kind of back it down next season a little bit and get back to the basics.
All right. Yeah. Harry, back to you. Can you hear us? Oh, I think you can.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hopefully I'm better now because I've got him. So I preferred the season to season 1. It was a lot more tight. It was a lot more tight and written. There wasn't as much. So I thought that we could go to the next one. It seems like a logical progression of the next bit is to help me get to the next bit, which is to help Grogu get home. I thought that we had definitely.
It's not happening, man.
I can barely hear you.
Sorry, Gary is really bad. Is your phone? Are you able to put your phone? Is the microphone near your mouth, or are you able to put your phone near your mouth? Keep talking, mate.
That'd be better.
No, I think it's now coming from one of your headphones. There's a mic on one of those, I think.
Is there a microphone on your headphone?
No, it's on the phone itself.
It doesn't sound like it's coming from your phone now. It sounds like it's coming from the sides.
Isn't there a microphone on your headphone, like down the side of it?
No.
No, not on the headphone itself, down the wire.
There's no wire. It's wireless.
Has he got wireless headphones? Oh, he's got wireless
Yeah.
headphones. Oh, fair enough. My
Yeah,
bad.
but they tend to have a mic attached to them. That's why.
Oh, can you hear me now? Oh,
Right, try the other one.
let me turn it over.
Yeah.
Do we fucking hear that?
There you go.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Yeah, not too close
Okay, you
around
can hear
there.
me now.
Not too close.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Okay. I prefer season one. Season one was a bit more sprawling, and season two had a lot of episodes, a lot more better written episodes. Like the one with the Mash was great. The one with Botan and the only ones I didn't like, the one we had to go back to the planet. It was I think it was really hard. Where he's like he's getting his ship repaired and stuff like that.
The one we went back to Tatooine. No, the fish planet.
Von Pally.
I'm trying to think. Also, I felt like I thought this season was building to something, but the something was, what is Moff Gideon going to do? And then we find out that he's trying to get a hold of.
Mate, your
Grogu
connection
and stuff like that, and
Yeah. I'm sorry, Gary, mate.
Sorry,
Your connection is awful.
is not great today.
You're clipping so much. It's
Your
hard to
sound
understand you.
clipping. Yeah, you sound like you're communicating from the moon.
Are you able to
sorry.
restart your phone, maybe, and something like that? I don't know.
okay, but yeah, this is a lot better season one, in my opinion.
All right, cool.
Okay, mate.
For me, I definitely preferred season 2 to season 1. Season 1 for me had way too many filler episodes. The writing though got a lot worse this season for me personally. I felt that it had dumbed down significantly. Mandalorian was talking way too much for my liking, but it was also inconsistent as well. 1 minute he's trying to play it cool, the next minute he's talking too much, next minute this. So I think again having different directors per every season, again, it was all over the place with some bits. But mostly, I agree with Cheeto. This was fan service season. It was becoming apparent that they were going to waste a lot of the episodes in this season just building up for spin-offs. The minute we saw that Boba Fett return, the minute we saw Ahsoka return, and those Rebel pilots, everything just felt a bit suspect. And then when they did the Investor Day 2020, it was just fucking load of fucking shit was announced tied to this kind of timeline, and I felt it was too much. It was way too much. The Ahsoka Tano thing was just kind of such a throwaway to have a show. But the minute they mentioned Thrawn, it was like, oh yeah, here comes the spin-off. We knew that was coming. But I mean, overall, I didn't hate it. Like I said, I had a lot of problems with season 1. I just wasn't blown away by it. This one, the parts that I did like did enough to kind of make the experience enjoyable overall. That was learning more about what they were doing with Grogu, learning more about the Force, exploring different areas with Mandalore and parts of his world and lore and things like that. They could have definitely done more when the two different factions of the Mandalorians showed up. That felt rushed. A lot of episodes could have done with a lot longer lengths, where they could have just taken their time to explore the lore and just build on that, rather than clip, next scene, next planet, next action, next this, next that, breeze over this, breeze over that. The episodes where they took their time were the best. So yeah, again, I'm still not like Mandalorian. I personally am not putting it out there as one of my favorite shows out there. I'm enjoying it for what it is, but personally, it's still not. I mean, the Luke thing was like mind blowing, but other than that, yeah, Cheeto.
I just wanted to add, yeah, I feel like the season. The other thing was it was very Iron Man. It had Iron Man 2-itis is what it had. Like it was trying to set up too many things
Hmm.
and too many other spin-offs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Basically, what Iron Man 2 was in the MCU.
Yeah. That being said, the action is the best I've seen on a show. In a lot of the places, it's just been mind-blowing, phenomenal. The cinematics have been mind-blowing. I mean, episode 1 is still quite possibly one of the most beautifully shot shows ever in the history of television.
Yeah.
It was that mind-blowing. The cinematics have been amazing. Some of the surprises have been fantastic. Yeah, and the action scenes, have been beautifully choreographed. I got no complaints about the action scenes. Really well choreographed, really well shot. None of this shaky cam bollocks. So those were the more enjoyable things and exploring the lore. But as an overall, it was better than the first season. That's for sure. So
Well, you said remember you
Yeah.
said that they weren't ever going to get rid of Baby Yoda, Grogu. They're moving on from him, bro, and I'm really happy they're doing this because it's more.
They haven't.
that was my next point is what are you guys' thoughts now that Grogu's gone? So Cheeto, go to you.
I mean, I'm glad because it'll take less focus, hopefully less focus on the Jedis and stuff like that. Maybe we can get more into Mandalorian lore and, the Mandalore, Mandalore, the planet and all this other, which I would love to see. I know they explored it in Clone Wars, but I can't be bothered to sit down and watch all. I mean, I think it was like season 4 of Clone Wars. And I'm like, I'm not sitting through all that. Like, I would like to see it on the Mandalorian because honestly, they can make it look better because it's got a fantastic budget, and although animation is good, I don't want to see it on Clone Wars. I just don't. The with the Grogu thing, I mean that they never said that he's gone. You never know. There may be something where
We'll see him again. We will definitely see him again, in my opinion, in some capacity.
I have a hard time. I mean, first off, I mean, okay, so how much? There's still a decent amount of time between the end of this season and the beginning of the Force Awakens. Well, not even the beginning of the Force Awakens, but when like Luke goes into exile. Like, how long did they say he was in exile at the beginning of the Force Awakens? Was it 5, 10 years? I don't know.
No idea.
Can't remember.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, so I mean, Baby Yoda is still kicking around unless Kylo Ren
killed him.
had a young spree. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Grogu shows back up in some shape or form in season 3. But I'm excited for him not to be there for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think it's strange that in 6 years Luke Skywalker hasn't changed his outfit? He's still wearing that black.
I was going to bring that point up and I forgot. I did like it. Was funny though because he shows up and he's not in a fighter pilot uniform, at least that we know of. I mean, maybe he took it off in the hangar bay, but it's like, you kind of have to wear a fighter pilot get up, when you're flying a fighter pilot, because there's special equipment that you need to have on you when you're flying a fighter.
All those tubes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's stuff going on there that needs to be. So, either he changed or, he had his Jedi robes underneath his pilot uniform, which whatever. Okay. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, he looked, for it being 5 years after Return of the, this has been what, 6 years after Return of the Jedi, because this
5 or 6,
season 1, he looks even with the CGI questionality here. That's not a word, but whatever. I still feel like he should look. I mean, maybe he should have had that goatee started a little bit. He looked exactly.
He's still in his 20s. He's still in his 20s. He's still in his 20s, by the way. He might be like 29.
He would have been in his early 30s by then.
No, he was very young. He was a teenager in The New Hope. He was like 19. Oh, actually, he might be 30. Yeah, he might be 30. come to think
I
of
mean,
it.
I thought he was in his early 30s, but I mean, I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't follow the ages of all them and anything like that. All I know is Luke kissed his sister.
I've just heard from many people that
they
he was in
brother.
Return of the Jedi. He was 23 years old, so he might have been like 29.
He was supposed to be 23 years old, or is that how old
Yeah.
Mark Hamill actually was?
No, that's how old he was supposed. No, Mark Hamill was older than that, but he was
I was
supposed to be
about to say.
23.
Really?
These are from like nerds in Star Wars who have got YouTube channels dedicated to Star Wars who go through all this shit.
I have
So,
never thought in Return of the Jedi that he was in his 20s. I always thought he was breaking 30.
No,
Really?
what? Yeah, no,
No,
he
what
was
the
in.
hell? He was still a young man, and he had like he was an extreme case because he had to learn the art of the Jedi in his teenage years, and then he became a fucking master by the time he was in his early 20s.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, his age was apparent in the Super Nintendo game where it said that he was 19, and Chewbacca was like 200, and Han Solo was like in his 30s. In your face.
Sure. Okay.
All right. What were we talking about?
I don't remember. Oh, Grogu.
Oh yeah, Gary. Thoughts on Grogu being given away and won't show up in season 3, hopefully. Those are your thoughts.
Still.
All right. Okay. Anything?
You're muted.
Gary?
Well, do you not think that there's going to be the Grogu thing to the side now would be maybe like them taking back Mandalore or dealing with Bo-Katan and Mando's relationship and stuff like that, and Cara Dune and Mando's relationship and stuff like that. Mando and Cara Dune going to get.
I don't think Cara Dune and Mando are going to get it on. I think they're going to be friends. But I do think Mando for sure is going to have his hands full now. He's the ruler of Mandalore because he's got the Darksaber in his hand. And I personally feel Bo-Katan is going to be an antagonist in the next season of The Mandalorian. I do feel that she's going to be, it's very typical in comic books and lore in general. Your friends end up being your worst enemies. And I can see that. I can see Bo-Katan being the bad guy because she's not technically a good guy, is she?
I don't know. I've never watched Clone Wars, so I have fuck all idea about.
She's in it for herself, like she wants to rule Mandalore. She's in it for herself. Like she only helped fucking Boba and Mando regarding rescuing Grogu because she wanted to take over Moff Gideon's ship. So she's in it for herself. That's for sure. Yeah,
Cheetah.
And can I also say that if he doesn't show up, I'm so happy that they're going to stop pushing the stupid Grogu button where they're like, they have the kid, they have the child, they have Grogu. It's like,
he's a MacGuffin for too long.
Yeah, stop. That is like even Bill Burr's character in this season. Like they said, I said this last week. Or was it last week? I think it was last week.
Yeah, last week.
Where he's like, oh, they have the kid, and Bill Burr's like, I wanted him to look at him and go, I don't care. Like, I don't care that they have the kid. So what? Anyway, I'm off my tangent.
It's a good tangent. Okay. So now we're going to move on to things we want to see in season 3. Gary, I'll go to you.
Okay, what was season 3? More shootouts. A big build of a new villain, so because Moff Gideon is off. So he talks about the new world. Maybe we now start seeing the re-emergence of the new order. So we see maybe the Empire stop being so Empire is going to the new order. To see more of that. I'd also like to see more, maybe Mando's allegiances get split so much that he's no longer a Mandalorian in the sense now. Now his loyalties has been shifted a little bit because he had loyalty to Grogu instead of Mandalorian code. Maybe like now he's somebody who no longer feels part of that culture.
Gary, you're clipping too much. Okay, cool.
Yeah, got it. I got it. No, yeah. Okay, Zam.
Well, kind of saying what Gary was saying. I want to see more Mandalore. I want to see Mandalore live action Mandalore. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen what it's like on the Clone Wars, but it's going to be really hard to replicate it for real. So it's going to be interesting how they pull it off. But it kind of feels like it's been teased to be set up for like that. Gary wants more shootouts. I want more dialogue. I will happily have an episode where there's not one fucking action scene. I'll be fine with that. Yeah,
we want a Trek episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Just a Trek episode where a Star Trek episode where it's basically doesn't need to have shootouts and stuff. It just I think they need to go to a different direction because they've been playing these break into buildings and rescue someone, help a village out. They've been playing those tropes to death, and things are going to start feeling samey if they don't go a different direction. So doing some world building, making it more political, a more political scenario for Mandalorian to be in, having to deal with different types of people around him. Who can he trust? Who can he not trust? Maybe a bit Games of Thrones-y in that sense. It'll be interesting. But whether they go like that, I have no fucking idea. It could still be pew shootouts next season. Who fucking knows?
Before I go to Cheeto, I'll just say I definitely want to see season 3 explore Mandalore and the Mandalorians. I want to see the conflict between the two different clans of Mandalorians. I want to see is it Mando's job in the next season to kind of unite all these Mandalorians that are scattered to go and take back Mandalore or to settle on Mandalore? Will Bo-Katan be the one, that does turn out to be the big bad in this, where she has no choice? Yeah, go on.
Before I forget, I want to see the armor smith. I want to see her come back. I want to see his old clan be upset with Mandalorian. Now he no longer wears his helmet, or he has to feel like he has to keep his helmet on all the time. Now he's taking his helmet off because he's still going to be a Mandalorian, but he's seeing things differently. And once again, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, like the little tit for tat with Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is not a religious zealot. She came across as a person who's a Mandalorian, but not necessarily a religious zealot, making fun of Din Djarin for being one. Din Djarin is willing to give the lightsaber back, but she's now being a religious zealot over that. It's interesting seeing how it's all switched over now. You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting as well.
If they were smart with the writing and Bo-Katan really wants to, out of jealousy that Mandalorian, Din Djarin is kind of uniting people out of jealousy, she could turn around and go, oh, by the way, he took off his mask in front of all of us and we saw it. And then his side could be like, oh my God, how could you? But I'm guessing that the two factions will already be at loggerheads prior to that.
The Armor Smith could be a good antagonist as well. I mean, she looked like she could kick ass.
Yeah, she could be. But I don't think she will be.
Yeah, and also they need to explain why Bo-Katan still looks so fucking young, because she should be in her 50s, maybe even 60s.
They don't need to explain. God, some of the things you need to explain to.
No. Look, she shouldn't look this young. She shouldn't look this fucking young.
It's Hollywood, mate. They all look young. Anyway, so that's where I want to see him go. I agree with you, Joe. I want to see less of the the planet jumping and just like the rushing for episodes. I take your time, explore the lore. Not everything has to be so go here, do this, go here, do that. You have to change. Season 3 needs a change now. There's no planet jumping that much needed because the kid is gone. So you're not going here, there, and everywhere. You're not
if I was going to make season 3, I would call it the Mandalorians. I would pluralize it. Can't get the word out at the moment for some reason. I wonder why. But yes, that's what I would do, because the problem with the Mandalorian show generally, because it's focused around Din, we only get to experience the other characters when they're near Din. If they're not around him, we don't give a fuck about them. And that was the problem with Moff Gideon in this season, because unless Din Djarin was close to him, we never got to experience what Moff Gideon was like. So we need to broaden, the character development. Maybe even have Mandalorian playing lesser parts in certain episodes, so we give more focus to other characters.
Okay, Cheeto, what would you like to see for season 3?
Oh my god, I just want to see Jar Jar Binks again. No, I agree with you guys. I want. Look, it's been a long week. I'm at the cuckoo stage. Okay. But no, I want to see Mandalore. I think, I'm gonna go the deep. I'm gonna put more Trek in here. I'm sorry, guys, but I want them to go the Deep Space Nine route, where they take a season and they sit somewhere and stew. Where it's like, they go to Mandalore and they have to work out these issues. And you're right. The armor and Bo-Katan are at each other's throats, but then Bo-Katan's like, well, the person you follow doesn't even follow your rules. And then now it's all of a sudden Din Djarin versus his people versus the Zealots versus, I don't know, all of them. And
yeah.
And I mean, you don't even need to have some concrete everything's happy at the end. Like, you can just be like, all right, fine, we're dividing up the planet. Like, this is going to be our part. This is going to be yours. You expand, if you cross this border, we'll kill you. Yada. I mean, these are Mandalorians. They're supposed to be like the Klingons of the Star Wars universe. So at least that's the impression I got. I don't know total Mandalorian lore, but that's what I've heard. And I agree. I think they need to sit for a while and and work on the Mandalore homeworld and try to unite the factions.
You think the fans will go for that? Not having pew mission of the week's episodes every week.
So. I mean, how long has it been since we've been on Mandalore? Who knows who's there? There might.
I mean, I'll go for it. I just hope it works, because I'm worried that if fans react negatively to it, they might just go back to mission of the week shit the following season.
Well, if they react negative to it, then it means they're just like dumb shit with no actual content. They just jump around and go pew all the fucking time. I don't.
Yeah.
Aren't the fucking fans we want? You want a nice mixture.
Mm-hmm.
But Mandalore, that old joke. But look, from what I've seen, as long as it's Mandalorian kicking butt and doing things, the fans are going to be easily pleased. For all its gripes, people think this show's a fucking second coming, for fuck's sake. So I'm pretty sure that they're in good territory.
More things to add, like we had characters like Grief Karga, like these are new characters. I wanted to see more of Grief this season. We only got him for one fucking episode. Yeah. So instead of giving us all these guys who we've seen before all the time, like Ahsoka and Bo and Luke and all that shit, give us people that you've created in this universe. Give us more of them. I would love to see Bill Burr come back. I would love to see Carl Weathers come back. I want to see more of these characters in this show, because they've developed them and they're part of this universe now, part of this show. I want to see more of them.
Yeah, I agree. So obviously, yes. So we've spoken about what we want to see coming up. So next, just general, whatever you guys want to add. If there's anything you want to add to this.
Well, apparently something's leading to a mass crossover event. Is Grand Admiral Thrall the Thanos of this series universe? Will he be the big bad that everyone comes together to fight at the end? Because I feel they're kind of going like that.
I mean, I want more Grand Admiral Thrawn, but I don't know if that's exactly the best idea.
And
Avengers Endgame worked because they just. Am I frozen? Oh no, I thought.
No, you're talking.
Thanos and Endgame worked because there was tons of buildup, and I get that they can do tons of buildup here, but I don't know. I don't know if you can replicate it. The MCU is something that it's different entirely. And if you want all of these characters to come together for like an Endgame type moment against Grand Admiral Thrawn, I don't know if that's going to work with this Star Wars.
I feel like they're doing something like that because I do believe we're going to get more crossovers. I mean, I think that's just a guarantee. You know,
Yeah,
I do feel I feel like Ahsoka has to meet Luke. She has to fucking meet Luke, in my opinion.
I don't get that kind of crossover.
But I feel Ezra Miller might come back at some particular point in the future too. Very glad he wasn't the person to pick up Yoda. That would have been very underwhelming. Now we've got Luke, come to think of it. But I do feel that we're going to get more crossovers of certain shows. I do feel like when we have these Power Rangers of the Galaxy or what the fuck they're called, and the Ahsoka series, and
Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Go Rangers of the Republic.
I do feel like the odd occasion they might cross
time.
over. And that's what I'm fine with, because that kind of reminds me of it with the Arrowverse a little bit, with the odd crossover here and there. Totally fine with that, with established characters, but at least you're establishing new characters, and I'm fine with that too. It's a bit weird, everything's got to be balanced. It can't be too much of one thing and nothing of the other. But once again, season 1 of The Mandalorian I thought was great because it was on its own. So fuck knows what I want. I want everything and I want nothing. It's weird.
So with regards to what you said, I am okay with crossovers, but not in the first seasons, unless it's like the first episodes where you get a little bit, and then it's Cara Dune, we know for sure, is definitely going to be showing up in the Power Rangers of the New Republic. I think she's going to be a regular on that, which again is fine. She's a great character. But yeah, we don't want to have too much. It's okay if you get little bits like in each season, like one episode in each season. That's fine. But it will be nice because the galaxy is so vast. Just these things to be kind of their own little thing that culminates into a big fight with Thrawn and maybe Moff Gideon down the line.
I'm not too fussed about this New Order stuff as well, because that's decades into the future. Yeah. And nothing really regarding the First Order. Nothing really comes from that until Kylo Ren turns to the dark side. So as long as we're before that, anything could happen, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to unravel what the New Order is, and all that sort of shit.
Yeah. As long as there's seeds there to kind of plant that kind of leads to something, that's fine, rather than just the dumb shit that J.J. Abrams did. Like, oh look, here's a whole new fucking order. It's like, yeah, great, thanks. Their song Blue Monday is fantastic. I lost my fucking trail of thought now. Cheeto, we'll come to you. Any thoughts
on next season?
No, just anything you want to add?
I mean, if you watch any of our previous reviews, which you can find on our Star Wars playlist, which is mostly so far been reviews of Mandalorian and stuff. I mean, you know me. The Jedi stuff annoys me. I'm tired of Jedis. I was excited about this. I was tired, or I was excited about this show in general because it was a departure from the Skywalker saga. And guess where it ended back up at the end of this season? Skywalker City.
They're always going to play it safe.
And as I said, I mean, I didn't hate it, but it was more of what I didn't want from this series. Was it done well? Yes. I mean, if I was a fan, I know why you guys marked out. It was really cool. It looked great. It was great. They definitely did the fan service right. I'm not even saying it was bad fan service.
Okay. Did you cry?
Thoughts on the
hell no, I didn't cry.
I cried like a fucking.
I rolled my eyes so hard, like it was. Yeah, no. As soon as I saw the single X-wing, I was like, "It's Luke." Like, oh, fuck, it's Luke. I was thinking it was going to be Sebastian Stan. But
I thought it was going to be a Ahsoka Tano, to be honest, when it first came out.
That single X-wing, no, that's Luke's trademark, where he shows up in a single X-wing and just starts raffle stomping everybody. I mean, it would have been an okay misdirect, but so that was. I mean, the back half of this,
huh? I'm glad they didn't misdirect. I'm glad it was Luke. You can't misdirect like that. I'm
Okay.
glad. It's Luke. Oh, it's Ezra Miller.
Okay. Gary, thoughts on maybe the spin-offs? What are you expected to see from maybe the spin-offs that are coming?
Well, as Vegeta was saying, maybe just departure from Jedi stuff. Because I mean, even though I love Jedi stuff, I don't want it to be the main focus all the time. Because
I agree.
Again, you can tell an interesting story with Jedi, but I think you need to have that break for a bit. Because I think that's like it's one of those things where you push something so hard that people get sick of it.
Yeah, I think like obviously with Ahsoka coming up, that's going to be unavoidable. But with Mandalorian and the Power Rangers of the New Republic, I'll be happy if they don't go down the Jedi route because it will get a bit tiresome. It's going to be like a bit too repetitive. We've been there, we know the law very well. Even if it's been tweaked here and there, we still know that. So it'll just be nice to kind of know the law of the Mandalorians. Oh, you love that pun. But
we guaranteed know one show is going to be happening, and that's the Book of Boba Fett. Do you guys know where that might lead us and that's going to be about?
Well, I hope it's its own thing, personally. Gary, thoughts on Book of Boba Fett?
It's fan service. So again, I don't know what the thing is with Boba Fett is. You know, he was mute all the time. He didn't say anything. He looks cool. All right, looking cool is not a character to me. I mean, he's been good in this. Don't get me wrong. I've actually enjoyed him in this because he actually says and does stuff.
Yeah.
They fleshed him out.
That's you.
Agreeing with Boss Man. I mean, the Book of Boba Fett is. I'm interested where they left it, like with Boba Fett. As I said, the only thing that Boba Fett has ever done cool has been from The Mandalorian. So it's like, I'm kind of on board with Boba Fett having his own show at this point. I like where they left him. I mean, they've established him as a different character from Din Djarin. So, I feel like that this might be something good, and I'm interested. So I'll tune in probably to at least see if it's any good.
Okay, yeah. With regards to that show, I'm more interested in what happens because obviously they mashed up. I forgot his name. Why is it Bib Fortuna?
Bib Fortuna.
He just goes in there and he shoots Bib Fortuna in Jabba's old palace. But the question now lies is what's going on with the Hutts? Because, Cheeto.
So at the end of the first episode of Book of Boba Fett, he's gonna find Baby Jabba.
No, we already had Baby Jabba in the fucking Clone Wars. We don't need another Baby Jabba.
Oh God!
But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Hutts because I'm pretty sure their empire didn't topple when the empire toppled. These were well connected, well entrenched gangsters.
Like Congress.
Like Congress, exactly.
I think, Ginge, we're going to get lots of different gangster factions, which are familiar in Star Wars legends, like the Black Sun Syndicate, for sure. I think is going to play its part. And any of the other ones? They slipped my mind a little bit. Cousin Cheeto.
I'm sorry. What? I was reading something.
Some of the gangster factions in Star Wars is the Black Sun Syndicate, and there's a couple.
Red Suns? No, Red Suns is a Superman movie. No, I might. Black Suns?
It's Black Sun.
Darth Maul's lot.
Yeah, Darth Maul's.
Yeah. I mean, he's dead.
There was a couple of others. He's not going to show up, but the king is dead. Long live the king.
But it would be interesting to see who took over for Maul after the Black Sun, or maybe make an entire gang all together. It's just interesting because I don't know this, and if you guys know this, but like Jabba's reach, in the
original lore, it was huge.
Yeah, it wasn't just Tatooine, right? That's just where he was.
It was a region, like the Hutt region. If you ever look at, it wasn't like the whole universe, but there was like a region around Tatooine, a load of planets around there. That's where their reach was. It was quite vast. And I'm pretty sure that's the Disney one as well, because that was explored more in Clone Wars, I think.
So
the
so
Hutt.
he wasn't just in charge of Tatooine. He
No,
had
no, no.
like okay.
No, he had reaches everywhere. You know, Jabba was Tatooine, and there were other huts in other areas as well. So that's why I'm interested. The only thing that interests me is, did they put Bib Fortuna to take Jabba's seat after Jabba died, or did Bib Fortuna just take the seat? Did Boba just come and dethrone him, or was Boba hired by the Hutts to dethrone Bib Fortuna? So that's the only thing that really interests me. Other than that, I couldn't give a flying fuck. I'm with you guys. I've never cared about Boba Fett. Just a toy. The toy always looked cool. Other than that, I've never put him as one of my favorite characters. I prefer the Jawas over Boba Fett. Oh, Genie.
The Ewoks over Boba Fett.
And you know, the one spin-off I'm hoping we get is the one that leads to that Jawa getting shot in that Boba Fett fan movie. You know, what led to... I want to know why he got shot. I'm like, Zam, I need to know everything. Why did that Jawa get shot?
What was his parents like? Was
Ginger's
there
just taking Ginger's just taking the piss at me about knowing everything, because I just need to know how the hell Boba got out the Sarlacc pit. I want to physically
you
see
saw it? It's canon. It's in the fan film.
No, I don't give a shit. Fuck
he got
the
raped
fan
by
film.
tentacles, then he blew it up
Fuck
and he
the
flew
fan
out.
film. I want them to. I want to see it properly. You know, I want to see it on his show. I want a flashback. I want to see how he got out, and then I want to see why.
PTSD of being in the
visual
Sarlacc.
And then
clarification as well for Boba Fett.
He'd like it on Lucasfilm letterhead too.
Not just that, but there's a couple of things that need to be answered, because these questions have been brought up this season. Why the hell did he didn't try to get his armor earlier? Why did he wait fucking 6 years? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that one, fair enough. Not that I care, but that one, fair enough. You know, that's a plot hole. But Gary, your thought, do you need to know how he got out of the Sarlacc pit? Even though you can put two and two together yourself because you're an adult. I'm like, damn.
Don't care.
I want to see it. You get it. I want to see it. Fucking cunt. I want to see it.
Zam,
Okay.
Zam, you're in the minority on this one. Come on.
Yeah, you're in the
I want to
minority,
see
man.
it.
You
are
are
the
see it.
fans.
You are the Christine of this one. Christine loves cyberpunk. You are the minority of the Sarlacc pit Boba Fett mystery.
Yeah, and what
It's a bit like clone troopers and
man.
stormtroopers. It just happened. Like 1 minute with clones, then with stormtroopers, and
Do you know what I want to see? Do you know what I want to see? The Mandalorian, and I'm not joking about this. I want to see a badass Gungan to see if they could actually, if there's any sort of like way that they can rescue that race.
Gungan, a badass Gungan. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
I don't know. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, like he uses his ears and knocks people out and shit.
We need to go to
George Lucas should have gone back and remade episode 1, where Jar Jar wasn't this blithering moron, but a fallen warrior that wants to regain his pride back, or regain his standing within his people. And they could easily just edit out the idiot and just put a more kind of stoic and proud person who's fucked up somewhere.
I want to see a Gungan Sith or a Gungan Jedi. That would be pretty cool.
I don't know if the Gungans are one with the Force. They could do things with their tongues, though, that make Princess Leia happy. That's for sure. Yeah, Boss Nass. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, I mean it's gutting that we're not getting anything now for Star Wars series-wise for a year. I mean, all these great shows have been. All these great shows have been brought up, but there won't be anything Star Warsy for a fucking year.
I thought Cassian and I thought Andor and was already
filming that as we speak. They're filming that.
Still not due out till next year.
Oh, really?
Right at the end of next year. Yeah.
COVID cancelled. Stopped the tracks for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So
well, and this is the problem with we've already talked about this to death, but with the Disney Plus thing is like, you know, they should have had tons of content rolling, like, and not tons like at one time, but like we should not have we're paying for a service. We should not have
no breaks. It should be content after content after content for the adults.
Yeah. Well, and even Star Wars and Marvel at the same time, because
that's what I mean. Mandalorian finishes, you go Marvel. then Marvel, then Star Wars, and then mix it up, and then two at the same time. As long as it's down the line, there needs to constantly be new, not new, but new and continuing content in these kind of areas. Yeah, Gary, anything else you want to add? No. All right. I think that's about does it. I think we've covered pretty much a nice overall view of season 2 and what we want to see in season 3. Join us tomorrow where we will be talking about all the shit that went down this week, including the Mandalorian again, probably.
And Cyberpunk.
But there's
Again.
definitely going to be Cyberpunk news coming tomorrow because holy crap, have they?
So I should eat beforehand so I can go and grab something to eat while you guys are talking Cyberpunk.
Yeah, you do that, mate. Yeah, you eat while we shit on Cyberpunk.
I love shitting on that game.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. See you tomorrow. Bye.